Hey there internets, I'm Michael and this is Toucan Play That Game. And today you're going to see an example of Boss Monster 2 The Next Level played, and this will be a 2-player game. So if you still need to learn how to set up or play this game, please do watch my previous video that will teach you how to do that. And if you're interested in finding out what I think of this game, and of course whether or not Toucan play this game, then please do watch my next video in this series that will be my review. So with that out the way, let's take it to the table for a game of Boss Monster 2 The Next Level. Welcome to the table for a game of Boss Monster 2 The Next Level. And playing with me today we have Pixel. And Pixel is going to be Angstigoth, a one-winged demon. And her level up ability will be for the rest of the game. Once per turn when you kill a hero, draw a room card. She has a money bag as treasure icon and has 475 XP, and she will be going first because of that XP. She has built so far the Sorcerobe School, which is a monster room. When you build or uncover this room, draw a spell card, and it does 1 damage and has a book treasure. And then my play area is down here, my dungeon, and I am Belladonna, the Vampire Baroness, and my level up ability is I heal a wound. So I turn one face up hero face down, so that actually also gains me a soul. I have 350 XP and my treasure symbol is a Ankh for a cleric. And the room I've built is Fangroot Garden Monster Room. And once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, you may immediately build another room in your dungeon. Now this does 2 damage and has a sword treasure. So, as I've said, I'm playing with Pixel. This is a 2-player game. Pixel's dungeon here, my dungeon here. The town will be in this kind of row here. And then in the row at the top here, we've just got the decks of cards. We've got our heroes, our epic heroes, our room deck, and our spell deck. So, with that out the way, let's start the game. So, first thing we need to do, reveal 2 heroes. So the heroes in town we have, let's bring them closer for you to see. Oh, we have the Vampire, an ordinary dark hero who wants Ankhs. And once per turn, any opponent may discard a room with an Ankh to give this hero +3 health until the end of turn. And he already has 6 health, so he's pretty hard for a starting hero. And currently he'll be going to my dungeon because I'm the only one with an Ankh. Then we have a thief who is after money bags and has 4 health. Now currently this will be going to Pixel because she's the only one with any money bags. And then we each draw a room card. So Pixel draws one because she has the most XP, and then I get to draw one. And that is the beginning of turn phase. We now move on to our build phase. And Pixel is going to build that room. And then my go. And I'm going to build that room there. And now's the final opportunity for anyone to play any build phase spell cards. But neither of us is going to. So now we reveal what we've built. So Pixel has built the Hall of Mirrors, an advanced trap room. Once per turn, when an opponent plays a spell card, draw a spell card, doing 2 damage. And this has a book treasure, and the Sorcerobe School, which she had underneath, does also have the book icon, so she is fine to build that on top of it. And I have built the Barbarian Hall, a monster room. When you build this room, choose and discard 1 spell card. if you have any spell cards in your hand. But this will do 3 damage and gives me a sword treasure icon. Now, I do have spell cards, so I do have to discard one. And I am going to discard Pity here, which it very much is a pity to have to discard it. But choose a hero in an opponent's dungeon, remove that hero from the game. So that goes to our spell deck discards. And that is the end of our first build phase. So we move on to the bait phase. So let's look at the thief here, who has money bags. Pixel has money bags, and only Pixel has money bags, so the thief will go there. Then the vampire wants Anks, and still only me with Anks. So the vampire goes to the entrance of my dungeon here. So we then move on to our adventure phase. So we will do this in XP order. So first thing we'll be resolving is Pixel with this thief here. Now it has 4 health. She would move into the Hall of Mirrors and take 2 damage and then hit Angstigoth for 1 wound. Then we have the vampire here. As it stands, I'm only doing 5 damage, but I'm going to play this lightning bolt, which I can do because it does have the axe symbol, to deal 3 damage to 1 hero in your dungeon. So I'm going to damage this vampire by 3. But this does mean that because of Pixel's Hall of Mirrors, that she can draw a spell card, so she will do so. So we have the vampire here who's on 3 health. Now, Pixel isn't content to let this vampire die in my dungeon, so what she's actually going to do is, because of the vampire's ability here, she is going to discard this room card from her hand that has an Ankh. In order to activate the once per turn, any opponent may discard a room card with an Ankh to give this hero +3 health until the end of the turn. So she has cancelled out my spell's ability there, and that will go to the discards. And this means that the vampire moves into my barbarian hall, takes 3 damage, and keeps going. And then takes another 2 damage, but still has 1 health left, so hits Belladonna for 1 damage. And we're then at the end of our adventure phase. So we move on to the end of turn. Now, no one has any deactivated rooms to reactivate. So let's check if anyone has died or won the game. Well, no. We each only have 1 wound, and you need 5 to die, and you need 10 souls to win, and we have none. So we go back round to the beginning of turn. So first thing we want to do, reveal heroes. And we have a cleric with 6 health, and she's after Anks here. And also we have the Fool. The Fool is lured to the dungeon of the player with the fewest souls. In case of ties, he'll wait in town. But he only has 2 health, so he's a nice easy kill. A bit of a catch-up card, if you will. And then, of course, we each draw a room card, starting with Pixel, then for me. That's then the end of the beginning of turn, and we move on to our next build phase, with, of course, Pixel choosing what to build first. Pixel is going to build this here, and then it's me. And I'm going to play this room here. So then we reveal, and neither of us has any when you build. So let's talk about Pixel here. She's built the Decapitator, which is a trap room. And this means during the build phase, she may destroy this room to choose 1 room in any dungeon and remove its treasure value until the end of turn. Now this is doing 2 damage and gives a money bag to her dungeon. What I built was the Spell Slime Pit, which is a monster room. And whenever you play a spell, this room gains +1 damage until the end of the turn. But it's doing 2 damage anyway and has a book icon for treasure. So on to the bait phase. So we'll start with our fool here. Now we both have an equal number of souls, so he goes nowhere. The cleric, however, I'm the only one with any of the anks, so the cleric's going to go to the entrance of my dungeon. And then we move on to our adventure phase. So Pixel has no heroes at the entrance to her dungeon, so we move straight on to my dungeon with this cleric here. So the cleric has 6 health, so it's going to go 2 in the slime pit, 5 in the barbarian hall, and 7 in Fangroot Garden, meaning it's going to die. So that will mean I have 1 soul. Also, once per turn if a hero dies in the Fangroot Garden, I may immediately build another room in my dungeon. So I'm going to build a Sorcerobe School, which is a monster room. When I build or uncover this room, I get to draw a spell card, and it does 1 damage and gives me a book. So I'm going to build that there, meaning I'm now up to 4 rooms in my dungeon. And of course, I get a spell card. And that is the adventure phase over with, so it's once more the end of turn. We have nothing to reactivate, and we have no winners or losers yet. So we are back round to the beginning of turn, so we reveal 2 heroes. We have the fighter, who is just a basic guy with 6 health who wants swords. And we also have another fighter, and this one only has 4 health and is still again after swords. So swords are going to get a lot of heroes this time. And then Pixel draws a room card and I draw a room card. So on to our build phase. So Pixel is going to build this room here, which covers up that fighter a bit. Let's just move these up slightly, give us a bit more room for the town. There we go. Okay. Well, I'm going to build this room right here. So we then do our reveal. And Pixel has built the Goblin Nursery, a monster room. If the room to the left of this is a monster room, give that room +2 health. Now, there isn't going to be a room to the left yet, but this has 1 health and 2 swords worth of treasure. Then I have built the Lost Library, which is a trap room. You may destroy this room to draw 2 spell cards, then discard a spell card. However, that was my 5th room, so I level up, meaning I get to heal a wound. Turn 1 face up hero, face down. So this vampire here becomes a soul, so I now have 2 souls. And I'm then going to discard this Lost Library, destroy this room to draw 2 spell cards. And I'm going to discard this hiring spree here. So that is our build phase over with. We move on to our bait phase. So the Fool will be going to Pixel's dungeon because she has the fewest souls. And this fighter here wants swords, but Pixel now has 2 swords and I have 2 swords. So that will go nowhere, and neither will this other fighter. We move on to the adventure phase. So Pixel first, and this Fool will go 1, 3, dead. So Pixel now has a soul as well. And that is the adventure phase over. End of turn, we have nothing to reactivate, and we have no one with 5 wounds or 10 souls, so the game carries on. So we then do the start of turn, we get 2 more heroes out. So we have a mage who only has 4 health and wants books. And another mage who has 6 health and wants books. And then Pixel gets a room card, and I get a room card. And we move on to the build phase. So Pixel's going to build this room here. And then I'm going to build this room here. So we then reveal. So Pixel has the werewolf den, which is a monster room. So because of being to the left of the Goblin Nursery, this will get +2 health, putting it on 3 health. And once per turn, she may discard a card from her hand to give any one hero +1 health until the end of turn. And this is giving Axe and Swords. And then I have built the Barbarian Hall, which is a monster room, same as I already have actually. It's the second room of this I've built. It does 3 damage and gives me a sword, and means I need to discard a spell card. So I'm going to discard a Lightning Bolt. So we are on to our bait phase. So fighters are after swords, and no, we both still have 3 swords, so the fighters go nowhere. However, the mages are after books, and Pixel only has 1 book, and I have 2. So both these mages are going to go queuing up for my dungeon, and we move on to our adventure phase. So this mage goes 3, 4, dead. So I now have 3 souls, and Pixel only has the 1. And this other mage is going to go 3, 4, 6, dead. Putting me up to 4 souls. And that is the end of our adventure phase. So we do end of turn. We have nothing to activate. No one has 10 souls and no one has 5 wounds. So back round to the beginning of turn. So we reveal 2 more heroes. We have a hitman who's after money bags, and once per turn any opponent may discard a room with money bags to give this hero +3 health until the end of turn, and it currently has 6 health. And then the other hero we have is Barbarian, who's after swords, and once per turn any opponent may discard a room with swords to give this hero +3 health until the end of turn, and that has 6 health currently. And then Pixel gets a room card, and I get a room card. And build phase. So Pixel is going to build this room right here. And I'm going to build this room here. So we reveal, and Pixel is building a Hatchling's Horde, which is an advanced monster room, but has all the symbols, so it can be built on top of anything, and will do 2 damage. And I have built the Spawn Point, which is a monster room, and once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, I get to draw 2 room cards, and it will do 2 damage and gives me a sword. And this is a basic room, which is why it didn't have to match on treasure type there. So we then move on to our bait phase. So fighters after swords. No, both dungeons still have 4 swords. So the fighters and the barbarian are not going anywhere. What about this hitman? He wants money bags. Well, Pixel has 2 money bags. I have none. So this hitman's gonna go into Pixel's dungeon. So we move on to the adventure phase, and this hitman's gonna go 3, because the Goblin Nursery is giving it +2, 4, 6, and die, giving Pixel her 2nd soul. Next, we'll move on to the end of turn again. And we have nothing to sort out, because nothing's been deactivated, no one has enough souls or enough wounds. So we back round to the beginning of turn, and we do 2 more heroes, and we have a witch who's after books, and once per turn opponents may discard a room with books to give this hero +3 health, and it has 6 health. And we have a thief who's after money bags and has 6 health. And then Pixel gets a room card, I get a room card, everybody gets a room card. And then we do our build phase again. And Pixel is going to build that. And I'm going to build that. So we reveal Pixel has built the Mega Worm Burrow, an advanced monster room, and both the rooms do have swords. And when she builds this room, choose and destroy one advanced monster room in any dungeon. Seems I don't have any advanced monster rooms for her to destroy. So never mind, but it is doing it has got 4 damage there, so that's still a nice card. And then I have the Warp Tube, which is a trap room, and you may destroy this room to send a hero in this room back to the first room of your dungeon. Only does 1 damage, but it has a sword and a book. Okay, so bait phase, fighters after swords, so we've got 4 swords. 5 swords, I finally have enough swords. So I get both these fighters, the barbarian. Okay, witches, books. Well, Pixel actually has the most books and the most money bags, so she'll get the witch and the thief. So we move on to the adventure phase, and it will be Pixel first. We have this witch, which will go 6, because of the Goblin Nursery giving it +2, and instantly die. So that's her 3rd soul. And then the thief will do the same. So he puts her on 4 souls, so she's caught up. However, I then have fighter. And this fighter is going to go 3, 5, 6, and gives me my 5th soul. Then this one's going to go 3, 5, and die. And this barbarian, well, can Pixel make it harder? No, she can't. So it's going to go 3, 5, 6, and die in the warp tube, putting me on 7. So we're getting very close to the end of the game here. And we then move on to the end of turn. We have nothing to reactivate, and no one has enough wounds or souls to end the game. So we move back round to the start of turn. And we have 1 normal hero, which is a cleric with 4 health. And then we get our first epic hero, which is a thief who wants money bags and has 11 health. And he'll do 2 wounds, but being an epic hero, he is worth 2 souls as well. And then, of course, Pixel gets a room, I get a room. And it's then our build phase. And Pixel is going to play a spell card. She's going to play this hiring spree, which means that she draws 3 room cards, then gives another player 1 of her room cards. And this does have the hammer, meaning it's a build phase spell. So we put that to the discards, and she draws 3 room cards. And she's going to give me the Smashinator, which is an advanced trap room. Once per turn, you may destroy every other visible room in your dungeon to give this room +6 health until the end of the turn. So I'd put it on 9 health. So that'll go to my hand. And then she gets to build what she wants to build, which is going to be this card here. And I'm going to choose to not build anything, which is a valid option in this game. So we move on to our bait phase. And the cleric wants Anks. Oh, no, sorry, I forgot. We actually do have a room to build. Pixel built the Deadly Treadmill, which is a trap room. And once per turn, you may discard a room card to draw a room card. And it does 2 damage and gives a money bag. So bait phase, clerics want Anks, so we each have 1, so this cleric's going to stay in town. Money bags, Pixel has 3, I have none, so the thief is going to go after Pixel. So we move on to our adventure phase. So this thief is going to go in, it's going to go 2, 8, 9, 11 and die in the hatchling's horde, which now means Pixel has 6 souls. And that's then the end of the adventure phase, and we move on to the end of turn. No one has enough souls or wounds, and there's nothing to reactivate. So back round to the start of turn or beginning of turn. We reveal 2 heroes. We have a fighter with 11 health, followed by a mage with 11 health. So, Pixel gets a room, I get a room, everybody gets a room, everybody loves a room. Pixel is going to build this card here. And what am I going to do? I'm not going to build anything again. So, we do our reveal, and Pixel has built the Genie Lounge, which is a monster room. When you build this room, if you have no spell cards in your hand, draw a spell card, which she does, so not really helping her that much. But it'll do 1 damage and gives her a book and a money bag. And we move on to our bait phase. So, clerics. Well, Pixel has 1 Ankh and I have 1 Ankh, so not going anywhere. Fighters though, Pixel has 4 swords, I have 5, so I will get the fighter. And then the mage, who has the most books? Well, Pixel has 3 books and I only have 1. So we each have 1 hero coming to our dungeon. And so Pixels will go 1, 7, 8, 10, 12 and die, putting her on 8 souls. And mine will go 3, 5, 6, 9, 11 and die in my Fangroot Garden, putting me on 9 souls. And because it died in the Fangroot Garden, I may immediately build another room in my dungeon. But I don't actually want to, so I'm not going to. And that's then the end of that adventure phase. The end of turn, no one has 10 souls or 5 wounds yet. So we move on to the beginning of turn again. So 2 new heroes. We have a cleric with 11 health. And we have a druid. Now this is the first time we have seen a mixed class. So it wants Ankhs and books. So it's whoever has the highest combination of those. And it has 12 health. However, give this hero plus X health, where X equals the number of spell cards in your hand. So, for me, I only have 1 spell card, but Pixel has 3. Anyway, we then each get a room card. And we move on to our build phase. And Pixel's not going to build anything. I'm going to build that. So we do our reveal, and I built the Inner Sanctum, which is a trap room that means at the end of each turn, if no heroes entered this room, I may draw a room card. It also does 2 damage and gives me an Ankh. Now, Pixel didn't build anything, and we move on to our bait phase. So, Ankhs. Pixel only has 1, I now have 2, so I get this cleric and this other cleric. However, the druid wants books and Ankhs. Now, I only have 2 books and Ankhs, but Pixel has 1, 2, 3, 4. So the druid will go to Pixel. Now, this druid is also on +3 health as we move into our adventure phase. However, she is going to play super effective. Now, what this means is that she chooses a room in her dungeon. It deals +2 health until the end of turn. Or, if only 1 hero was lured to her dungeon, it does +4. So, only 1 was, so it's going to be doing +4. She's going to do it on the very first room on this Genie Lounge. which of course also means it reduces the health of the druid by 1 because it's using one of her spell cards. And then this will try and go through the dungeon, so it will take 5, 9, 10, 12, 14, being just enough because it's on +2 health to kill it. And that actually means Pixel has 10 souls, but we still need to resolve till the end of turn. So we need to do My Adventures. So we've got the cleric here who'll go 3, 5 and die, which puts me up to 10 souls. And then we also have this other cleric, which is going to go 3, 5, 7, 10, 12 and die, which of course means I'm actually on 12. So that's the end of the adventure phase, and we move on to our end of turn phase. Now so first thing we do, reactivate. We don't have anything to reactivate, but we then check the scorekeeping. A player with 10 souls wins the game. We both have 10 souls, so we need to do a tiebreaker. Now, the way we work out a tiebreaker is we minus the number of wounds from the number of souls we have, which would be 12 for me and 9 for Pixel. So I win! Yay! And that is Boss Monster 2 the next level. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. Of course, if you have, please do watch the rest of the videos on the channel and subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and family. And of course, please do check us out on social media as well. We are on Facebook and also on Twitter. And as always, thanks for watching and bye for now.